After being bitten by a radioactive bird, somewhat mannered, Tuthill feels compelled to become Kinneas, the Sky Dude. Sky Dude, episode 16. And we are Friday, TGIF, Friday, June 2nd. Oh, man. So, a lot to do. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. Nature calls. So, getting going again here. I think my pilots were out partying all night. And I think one of them was sleeping with a customer. Or they went out and partied. And I don't really care what they do in their off time. But when I jumped back in this morning, after getting some much needed rest, one moment here, let me pop up Neofly. It's coming back up now. I had to shut it down, and I'll explain here in a minute. Okay, so when I popped in this morning, this guy hadn't rested. He was still like at 40%. This guy here, GHOSTRIDER, he was at 0%. And this guy was around 40 or 50 as well. Okay, maybe a little bit more because he kind of came on late yesterday. But GHOSTRIDER, and then it showed when I first came in, there was like the passenger icon, like he still had a passenger. But this is hours. You know, I got a good amount of sleep, and I figured, okay, once they'll rest up during the time that that it's just sitting inactive. And normally I thought they would, but they weren't recovering. So I made sure that any of these icons here that might keep them doing something were turned off. And I went into the hangar and I pulled them all out of their planes and set these as empty. And then shut off Neofly. So basically, okay, shut down. Fine. I'm forcing you all to go get some sleep. Go get some sleep right now. So the last few hours, I've been coming in and checking on them, and they're now fully recuperated. They had been recuperating. So yeah, I'm not really sure what was up with that, especially with GHOSTRIDER. When I first came in, he had a passenger logo still here. He still had a passenger with him like 8 hours later. So yeah, they were up. That's the story I'm going with. They were out partying and partying real hard, I guess, because he was 0 and this was red. And I thought, well, did he die? Did he crash? But I looked at all the planes, and none of the planes have any damage. The planes are all fine. So I just don't know what the heck was happening. We're up to 248,000, and there's another exploration mission. I'm so split because the last one cost so much. I had it out with some of the Discord people last night about how much it costs to move your pilot. There isn't a plane ticket in the world, whether like VIPs. But what I'll explain is it costs so much money to move your pilot. I moved my pilot from here in Colorado to Missouri over here. Okay. To move my pilot from here to here and plane cost $58,000. Well, moving them back and forth, I had to move. Yeah, I had to move. 14,014. So moving them here to here, and then I guess back again. Either way, I spent a ton, more than $58,000 to go after one of these. Right? One of these wreckages. I don't even think I want to go after this one. You have to fly and land within a mile of. Now that I look at it, no, I'm not going to do it. I have made my decision. Like, I have a decision to make here. Well, I've just made it. because in the planes that I have, I suppose I could go here and try to rent a helicopter, but I'm not qualified for a helicopter yet. You know how, but that's just not good at all. Looking at the terrain, look at how wonderful the terrain was in the first wreckage that I went after. It was just green, flat, beautiful fields all over. It'll change here in a minute. Okay. Yeah, just the fuselage just sitting in the middle of a field. They're zoomed out. Yeah. Just nice. And then there's roads nearby. If I would have just needed to land on a little bit of a road, but I wanted to pull up and take a photo. Zooming out. Yeah. Look at how nice, lush, green, flat. Round shot. So yeah, I guess we won't be doing the exploration, and we'll wait for the next one. It changes every 24 hours. All right, well, let's get these guys back to work. They didn't want to wait for Friday to party. They wanted to just go. All right, so let's gotta get back to the hangar. Okay, so we'll put, and I think we might have to move him. I can't remember. Let's see, I think he was in this one. I think Berlin was in this one, and I think GHOSTRIDER was in that one. All right. And now let's go back to him. He's going to need a little bit more fuel. I put in a request with YouTube again this morning. They do their monthly highlight or video highlights for creators. And I talked to them again this morning about, or put in another suggestion for official YouTube music, video, TV, and or movie channels, stations that you can put into your live streams that are completely copyright friendly, and so that we can have some music to listen to or some other content while we're doing these flights. And as we go on, they're going to get longer and longer. You know, some of these, especially when we're dealing with airliners and all. But I've been really limiting these to short hops. But in the past and on other live streams, just not related to doing the career stuff, you know, doing long flights, just the ability to have some, you know, road trip music to listen to. Or in the case of like airliner flights, remember, you know, you've always been able to watch movies on long flights. Some way to put in movies and share a movie with the viewers while we're, you know, especially if we do any night flights, there's just nothing to see. Just staring at a cockpit, and everything's automated now. Speaking of automation, woohoo! Oh, well, let's get these jobs done. But yeah, speaking of automation, woohoo! Back to the future. We are back to the future. Okay. Job. You need a job. What do you got here? Let's again keep it short. I don't want these guys. I got to keep a real good eye on their fuel and keep it low so they can actually get some of these jobs. I got to mind how much weight they can carry. 25 miles. Yeah, go ahead and do it. See if he goes. All right. Berlin. He can't carry a lot in that little tiny thing. We really need to get him another plane. He just can't carry much at all. So maybe that's going to be our big thing today. I mean, we could probably afford one now. So he can only do that, and that's only really all that distance for $2,000. Can you do that one? That's better. 43. Not a lot of fuel either. I'm going to have to take that one. Check his fuel. All right, you go. Good, he's off. Ghost Rider, you partying monster. Stop sleeping with the customers. Well, I don't really care. I honestly don't. But, you know, when I come back and you're 0, you're just wiped out completely. We have to delay our transmission to our viewers because you're literally falling over dead. Not good, bro. Not good. Save it for the weekend. I'll let you have your downtime. Okay. Same thing with him. Don't want him to go too far. 2, 2, 3. Denver. Yeah, that's the best one. Oh, that one's way out there. No, don't want him to do that. He's going to Denver. Let's double check. Give him a little bit more fuel. All right, let's make sure they're all 3 now doing something. They are. These little icons are real time, so whatever they're doing, that will reflect what they're doing. So he's loading and embarking, loading and embarking. He's starting his engine. He's got a passenger. He's doing cargo. So you need to know what they're doing. And if you need to see what they're doing or where they're at, kind of keep track of them with this. They should make them in red so they stand out a little bit more. But we're covering the whole front range now, my friends, and doing really good. So yes, I'm going to encourage you. You don't have to, but possibly encourage you to, if you don't want to grind like the first 2 weeks like I did hard. Definitely, if you can, as soon as you can, get pilots. Now you can get them for free right now with the this pre-release. You donate and upgrade to Neofly4. Come down here into the shopping cart store. You can activate hiring pilots. You can also do activating an airline. So you put in your email address and your serial key. Okay, I haven't done airline. Now maybe down the road here, I'm going to try that. And maybe down the road, I will say, hey, if I had to start all over again, the airline is the right way to go to start. But I don't know that yet. And I can't say that yet at all. But I figured that the progression, I don't know. I just don't know enough. We're getting the experience now. We're becoming a SKYDUDE, and eventually we will figure out the best ways to, if we had to start over, what is the right way to, ensure that you don't completely blow your stack and your sanity advancing through this wonderful career add-on for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay, where does it think we are? Dun, dun, dun. It thinks that we are at K-Fly. Or we are at K-Fly. That's Meadow Lake, north of the Colorado Springs Airport here. And I do have our new airplane. I finally got it. It's not the G1000 SKYHAWK. It's the classic. And it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter that it's not the G1000. That makes no difference to me at all. What I wanted from the start, and I've been saying, if you've been watching me, I just ultimately wanted the autopilot. Make sure it turns green or you're going to spawn in the air. Okay. So I've been saying all along, I really love the G1000, but ultimately I just want the autopilot. I'm moving around between screens, monitoring these workers. Sometimes I'm checking out SkyVector, whatever, but I want to be able to do hands off. Now, Steve, our autopilot, the AI autopilot, not an autopilot in the plane itself, right? So when everybody has access to an AI co-pilot under flight assistant. Okay. I call mine Steve. So that's who I'm referring to when I'm talking about all this. And right here, AI piloting. Let's switch this on. I normally just have Steve do radios, but taxiing sometimes can be, especially at the airport last night. It was like a 20-minute taxi in Denver. And I just don't want to sit there and do it. I'd rather do something else. So I normally have them do taxiing, and sometimes I've been having him fly, but he's botched several landings now, and he's caused massive damage to the plane. Okay, luckily in one instance, he was taxiing and he crashed the plane on taxiing. I don't know how, but he managed to destroy the plane. So luckily I was able to back up and restore our activity. And wow. And then what looked like it was going to be a perfect landing for him, he botched it and hit real hard, and again caused massive damage to the plane, which I did end up having to pay for. I hadn't done a backup, and it's my own stupidity. So I had to just eat it and go forward. And I think it was over $100,000 in repairs between the hull and the engine. Horrible. So back up frequently. Okay, but on the cherry on top of all this, is we now have also the Garmin 530 and 430. I think that's what they are. And our autopilot down here. But just to have this, get rid of this here. Just to have this. It doesn't matter what plane. This one has a much better cargo. But again, this is all I wanted. But now we have this, and reacquainting myself, and I will show you tonight how to use these on a basic level. I'm still trying to remember how to do Citizen Stars and set up for an ILS landing. Maybe we'll get somewhere with that tonight. As far as programming in a flight plan, okay, I'm back on track, and now remember and know how to put a flight plan in and delete a flight plan, and we'll get to all that. Okay, let's get ourselves a job, true believers, and get this show on the road for today. So we're at 248,000 starting today, and see how much money these guys can generate and how much I can generate. Okay, let's get back to a normal view here. Fuel valve, let's pull that out a little bit, push this in a little bit, turn these on. Masters, avionics masters. Okay. Test our fuel pump, 3 to 5 seconds. The Garmin's will be coming on and start acquiring satellite signal. Okay, the fuel pump off. Boom. They're coming alive, and they're gonna start acquiring signal from the satellites overhead. Click these twice, enter twice on both of them. And now it is searching for the satellites that are overhead. There's the position on them. Oh. Okay, so there's the satellites overhead. And now the signal strength filled in on both of them. So now they're both connected and have acquired signals to everything. And now let's get ourselves a job. I did get that second monitor hooked up. And now that I have it there, we readjust some things here and move things into their proper position. So chat is never obstructed. That's been a real drag. With so much stuff on the screen, because nobody's been coming in the chat room, say hello. Sometimes it gets buried, has gotten buried. And now I've got that second monitor going. I can move the Neofly over to second monitor. Keep chat out in the open where I can see it. OBS down in this corner. Unobstructed. And the other thing I want to open is I want to have SKYVECTOR open. Let me get that. SKYVECTOR. So this is going to help us with plotting. I think I can still get everything in the GPS now, but so used to having this. So that out of the way, and I'll show you SKYVECTOR required here. There we go. So SKYVECTOR, and will that auto transfer? No. Somehow or another, when you restart OBS, sometimes it blows out the properties on these. And in the auto scene switcher, I don't have a problem with Neofly. No matter how many times I turn it off and turn it back on, it acquires the right window, and when I switch, everything's fine. With SKYVECTOR, I'm having to add it back into the auto scene switcher. Almost every time. And it's not that big of a deal, but let's see now. Good, that's the way it's supposed to work. So when I click this into the SKYVECTOR screen, it pops up properly. It's in the background here. Things re-stretched. And down here is the plot we did last night. Just a simple plot to teach myself and refamiliarize myself with the Garmin. Went from KCO, or went from I don't know, KCOS out to Black Forest to the Lufsey waypoint, the Jeffel waypoint, to the MCA VOR, and then to Denver for our landing last night. Okay, so now we can go get ourselves a job. See, wouldn't it be better to have music playing in the background at least? Just so quiet. Okay. Bump it up a little bit. 80 miles. Is anything interesting? Really? Nothing to Denver, nothing in Colorado Springs. I feel this is payback, the jobs they've been giving us for firing our first manager. We've not picked up another one. Well, yeah, well, we're going to give you jobs out to the cow pastures. Where's that one? Oh, that's way out there in the mountains. See, wait. And some of these fail too. Luckily, we've only had one fail with our hired pilots, but he flew out to one out here in the boonies and it didn't pay, or somehow or another he failed it. CO11, I don't want to go to the mountains. The La Junta? We haven't been to La Junta? Yeah, haven't been there in a long time. Let's do that. Double check here. Not towards La Junta. It's not. It's actually Rocky Ford area. Hopefully this doesn't fail on us. There's La Junta. Yeah. So definitely for nostalgia's sake, I used to do lots of trips through there. What it looks like. Just dirt. Not even really yeah, just a dirt field. Okay. We'll do it. 69 miles.
Good day to you, pilot.
Good day to you.
The flight plan has
Alana.
now been signed off. As soon as all the cargo is safely on board, you can get on your way.
I forgot to turn on
Transporter from dispatch. Loading cargo. Please stand by.
Neopad server. Get that up and running. Minimized. So now this thing should come on. And it has. Oh, this thing. Okay. If you're having any problems with the audio, you're not hearing anything, I try to keep the background game audio, simulator
from
audio.
Dispatch. The cargo is on board. You are cleared to taxi to the runway and take off.
So that if it's on and I'm talking, and I've turned down the engine noise, so it's going to be more quiet than usual. Yeah, I'm just, one, it's just such a droning noise, and I don't want to be drowned out by it. I don't want to have to talk too loud. You know how it is when you're hearing something really loud in your ears and then you start talking much louder because of it. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Okay. I don't think the fuel is synced. Let's do it from in here. And we need to see what our weight and balance, see that our weight and balance bonus is met. Okay. Let me show you this Neopad. Okay. It tells us that we require 332 pounds and we've met it, and we're going to get a +8 for it. Okay. The more you are able to put into your payload at this point, the more bonus you'll get out of it. So let me make sure I have enough fuel. We do. That'll be probably plenty to get where we're going. But now watch what happens when I increase the payload. Look at the percentage going up. 74, 123. And I think it's XP. I don't think this is money. Maybe I don't really know. But we can get this one all the way up to 357 plus 357, whatever. I really don't want to have that much weight. So I'll be happy with that. There's a lot of, overhead for leaves us a lot of, I don't know if I should or not. Should I go for broke? Make us heavy. I have the autopilot now, so it shouldn't be a problem. But having that fuel, I think, that weight can eat up more fuel. I suppose we could always stop somewhere in between if we have to. make a landing to get more fuel, but I can't see it spending that much. Yeah, we'll go for it. 357. Okay. Get this out of the way. All right. Now we get to have a little bit of fun with our getting back to the future. Now we can plot this. We want to. The simplest way is just do a direct to. Okay. And we're going to the ICAO. People are like ICAO. ICAO. The ICAO identifier for the airport is 1C05. Okay. So press this icon here and use your keyboard. Make sure it lights up. 1C05. Rocky Ford, Colorado. Melon. They sell melons. Boy, do they sell the melons out in Rocky Ford. So that is completely appropriate. All right. That is the one we want. Out a little bit. Oops. What happened there? I am too zoomed in. There we go. Use your big wheel or hit enter. Yeah, hit enter. And then it'll say activate, question mark, enter. So now we see a flight path. You zoom out here. Takes us to K-Fly. And the 1C05. Okay, now let's say we wanted to get just a little bit fancy and maybe follow the pre-designated highways in the sky a little bit more accurately. See, we're trying to fill out more of a formal flight plan, and we don't just want to be flying anywhere. We want to follow designated skyways. There are such things. Okay. So that's saying we're at KCOS. Yeah, maybe. Oh, well, wherever we're at. Are we? No, we're at K-Fly. Maybe it's just because I'm so zoomed out that they're overlapping. Yeah, they're overlapping. I'm at K-Fly. Okay, so check this out in Sky Vector now. Okay. Close this. And zoom in a little bit. But will this not stretch? How do I get that to enlarge? That's better. They're independent. Seems so. Okay, let's clear this out. Let's make that K-Fly. And we're going to 1C05. Okay. So now when we let me clear this. So now when we look out here, hit enter again. There it. Okay, we have our straight shot. Okay, so all it knows is right now we're going from one point to another point. K-Fly to 1C05. All right, but in the real world, sometimes they want you to fly on the highways. This is a world low map, and all the black lines, solid black lines, are designated highways in the sky. Okay. The triangles are waypoints. Some people call them fixed points. And when you see things like this, V83, it's a Victor. They call that Victor Airways. Certain stretches of road like I-25, right? Or whatever interstate you have in your area. They're basically the interstate numbers. Okay. So V83 and like Interstate 83 traveling up this way. If we were to turn and come this way, we'd be on Interstate V366. Okay. So let us get back to K-Fly. So zooming in, I want to fly, just to make it interesting, we'll fly to the ADANE waypoint and add that. Okay. Then we'll turn. Let's see here. Where do we want to make our turn? Well, to make it interesting, let's turn and go to Drake. Okay. Now we don't have to follow it down to here. We can actually make another turn. There is a waypoint at here called Joules. Let's go to the waypoint Joules. Okay. Then let's come down to the highway here. This waypoint, which is Toddy or Toad, I don't know how you want to pronounce it. Okay, and then to our destination at 1CO5 in Rocky Ford. Okay, so now you look at this window again. Yep. No, wrong. We have a flight plan. Okay, from K-Fly to ADANE. I don't know how to put Victors into the GPS, or I haven't been successful in putting Victors in. So, but that tells us that we're turning or that we're on the V389 highway, and we're going to the Drake point, then we're going to the Joules point, then we're going to the Todd point, and all that's missing on this right now. Again, you're not seeing the departure and destination. But here's how we put this into the GPS now. Okay. Try to move this out of the way over here. Now we need a third monitor. I can see that. And my what happened? Did we shut down? Sometimes if the simulator sits for too long, unbelievable. It shuts off. So I don't know why that is or why that happens. But it's happened to us. So all you can do is restart. I might have to take the job again, blow it out and get it again. In Neofly, it still, shows that I have the job, but I don't know if it bugs it or not, and I don't want to worry the whole way there. Like, is this going to work or not? I suppose once we take off, if we don't hear anything from dispatch, Boy, I hope YouTube really considers what I'm talking about in my suggestions. Sorry about that. I had forgotten that it would. I don't know why it times out or does what it does. There's no rhyme or reason for me. I don't understand. I'm gonna just blow it out and try to get it again. 1CO5.
Pilot, stand by. The cargo is being removed.
So we can get it again here.
Hello, pilot. The cargo is waiting for you at the usual location. Transporter from dispatch. Loading cargo. Please stand by.
Okay. So let's create a flight plan. Let's go to here. Push to go in. Rotate. Zoom in.
Transporter from dispatch. The cargo is on board. You are cleared to taxi to the runway and take off.
You're good to go. Contact the tower for clearance.
Why are you doing what you're doing? Okay, got K-Fly in there. Enter. Okay, our destination is 1CO5. Enter. Okay, now those waypoints, right? ADA&E, Drake, Jules, Todd. Okay, I'm going to put them in reverse order. You can do whatever order you want. But you have to, wherever you want it to appear before, highlight what you... So I want it to appear before 1CO5. Okay, doesn't matter what order I really want to put them in, but either way, I need ADA&E, Drake, Jules, and Todd to all be before 1CO5. So I'm going to highlight 1CO5, and anything I enter now will appear above it. So let's do put in Todd, TODDE, enter it. So now Todd appears above 1CO5. Now let me go to Todd. Rotate. Now we need Jules. JEWLS. Enter it. Okay. Now above Jules, we want Drake. Go too fast. I guess it skips it sometime. Okay. And we want that one in the Southwest United States. And above Jules, or sorry, above Drake is our first waypoint, ADA&E Adani. Don't know. The way that is the right one. Okay, now let's look at our flight plan. If we go back to the flight plan menu, that matches what we've created in SkyVector. That's it in a nutshell. We can now add departures. What did air traffic control already give us a departure? We got nothing. So we'll announce a takeoff to the east.
Kilo Foxtrot Lima Yankee traffic Kinneas 21 taking off runway 15 departure to the east.
Okay, so there's no tower here, so we're not going to get anything back. But we do have a runway now, a sign that we're going to take off from. So if you want to put that in, you can go to procedures. We can select departure, enter, and actually here. There's no runways to choose from here. All right, so we're not going to mess with this one. Actually, we're not even going to mess with the airport and setting up an arrival because it's a dirt field. With bigger airports, you got citizen stars and and you can set up approach, the arrival, and the departure. Okay, there. You hold clear, it'll take you back to the default screen. Okay. Okay, basically we're set. You can find VOR frequencies. We can use them if we wanted to. We can do so much now. So happy. All right. Let me increase my throttle here and check my mixture. Are we moving? Holy crap. No, it's good. The brake was off. Okay. Now with the engine running, I want to look at my RPM and my EGT. I want to push this in or pull it back so I can get maximum RPM. Really? That's all I'm getting? That's interesting.
You're good to go. Contact the tower for clearance.
So right there at the moment seems to be where I'm getting the most optimum power. Okay. Oh, we need to kill ourselves on day one, or with our new plane. I remember to take it slow, being so we still have all that weight on board. No. Okay, we do now.
transporter. Have a nice flight.
All right, up and away. K-Fly is a when you leave the runway, you have to turn left, whether you're leaving right or left. All traffic exits to the east from Meadow Lake. And I think it's because mostly they have a lot of trainers out here, a lot of students. They don't want everybody turning in towards the city. That's my best guess. Okay. Get a little bit of altitude here so I can take my hands off the controls and get our autopilot turned on. Have a sharp drop. Okay. So right there, she's kind of climbing on her own and pull. Okay. With that, now I can come down here and make sure that my console is set to GPS, which is reflected here. Okay. Pressing the CDI button, keep your eye here on this panel. So it'll switch from nav to GPS. You want to make sure one might be set to GPS and one might be toggled to nav. That can cause you some problems. So make sure that they're both reflecting the same input. Okay. Now that that's set, we can turn on our did I toggle flaps there? That's weird. Just slipped. Okay, let's turn on the autopilot and turn on navigation. Hello. Was I supposed to activate the flight plan? Because she's not moving. She's not turning. Do. We are not. What are you doing? What have I done wrong? I don't believe I have. Or I'm not seeing the flight plan right. Oh, I see. Well, it's still 80 A&E is out here and it's not turning to it. Or it's just skipping. It's going to do, then it'll go to here to here. I think that's what it's doing. I think it. Oh, why? I think it's just moving on to the next stretch. So hopefully once it hits the next white line and moves into this area, it'll turn. Because it just skipped going to 80 A&E. And I can tell you, doesn't make me happy. Okay, monitoring our altitude. We can hold this altitude. It's pretty flat going this way. We'll just hit alt. That'll hold us at 8,150 feet somewhat. And now I can put us into cruise mode. Drop us down to about 2,100 RPM. Now, if I wanted to, I can even finagle the mixture more. We don't need maximum burn. We just need burn, right? So watch the RPMs. I'm going to pull the mixture level until this thing starts dropping off. Set to 21. One in there. Somewhere in there. I'm going to pull back out of my mixture until she starts dropping off hard. Right there, that's where a sharp drop off. I need to put the mixture back in just a couple of notches. And then increase the throttle on my controller. Get us back to about 21, 22. So now I'm squeezing off the fuel. That's what I'm doing. I'm pulling back on the fuel, but I'm increasing the throttle. So we get maximum power with the least amount of fuel burn. And our exhaust gas temperature is basically nothing. Kicking out cool air from the exhaust. Flying straight and level. And yet now it's churning. Okay, so now it's connecting to the GPS route. See if I can get a control 2 on that. Yeah, close enough. Now it's churning. All right. Now we are working. It just wanted to skip. I guess it figured it was more efficient to skip 80 Annie and go just forward. Whatever. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. I'm going to increase my throttle some more. We're starting to slow down just a little too much. I would need to find that sweet spot between fuel efficiency and speed. Let's see what we get here. So she's still picking up speed. Now she's picking up speed and going into closer to 100. Let's see if I can. I don't want to pull back on the throttle too soon. Let's see how fast she can get going before I start pulling back. If not, that's fine right there, I suppose. You can see our exhaust gas temperature now. We are pumping out heat. Okay, we're over 100 knots. She's back to 100 knots at 2,300 RPM. And down to 2. Our just dropping down to 22, our exhaust gas temperature. Look over here, it dropped way all the way back down to the floor again. Little changes. Okay, we might be losing a little too much speed now. Let's go like 2.5. Yeah. Like up to 23. Okay, 22.5. Keeps us over 80 knots. Nice. 22.5. We're just back to 100. Well, whatever, 90 knots. Very little heat coming off the exhaust. And it's fluctuating between there and there. I think come on, you. Come on. Now she's like, no, I want to slow down. Okay, go to 23. Just barely trying to nudge the throttle forward. Well, I think that's good enough. If it's still going to stay between 80 and 90, then maybe 22 is the best. Because, you know, any little bit that I pull off of it, also majorly reducing the EGT. But yeah, in there's fine. You know, that's fine. Good enough. The heck did we go? It's right underneath us or right above us. Where the heck did we go? Oh, silly. Okay. Yeah. There we are. I thought Kenmore made appliances. This is the Kenmore variant. And I don't know if it's the same company that makes all the other stuff, all your appliances and HVAC and this and that. It seems maybe they are the same company. That's pretty cool. Yeah, the air's a little bit bumpy today. Okay, and now with our autopilot, the most beautiful thing. Hearing that? We're stalling. It's having a tough time keeping us. I mean, I pulled out the mixture a little bit too much. Sometimes the plane, you got to keep an eye on it. Sometimes for whatever reason, either the wind or whatever, it's having a tough time keeping its nose up. But a tiny bit more mixture. Maybe it just wasn't getting quite the oomph out of the fuel. Thought we were doing good though for a minute. Real good. EGT's all high again. We're making our turn at joules. We picked back up speed. Our EGT went up high, but needed to recover from that. It's having a tough time with the wind, I guess. Come on, you. All right, well, she seems good for the moment. Okay, let's go check on our fellas, shall we? Well, they're all ready for new jobs. 255,000. Thank you, fellas. Sure everybody has just enough. Okay, so this is Berlin. 25 miles. You can do that with what you got. Go. GHOSTRIDER the partier. 21 miles. Can't take it. Why? Too much weight. 35 miles. You can take that. Take your fuel. Good enough. Go. And Maverick. Maverick needs a little top up. Yeah, fuel is 3 times more expensive where they don't sell it. Makes sense, but okay. There's 26 miles, 29 miles. Do that one. A little bit more money. And go. Check the status, make sure they're all working. Oh, Berlin is not. There he goes. There he goes. Loading. 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 Great. You can also monitor your. Let's check out our flight plan in the VFR window. All right. So once we've created it in the GPS, Come on. This doesn't have the robustness that it did. Ads. There it goes. By the way, it had the same flight plan as we had in our GPS. You can see where we're at. So we have a ways to go. This is why I need music, YouTube. Something, some entertainment. Because look what we're flying over here in Colorado. A lot of it. Yeah. Please, YouTube people, think about our sanity here. When this is all we have to look at, and I'm not that entertaining. I'm no comedian. I'm not one of these, hey, people, you know, I'm not the most exciting host. So, yes, it would be lovely if we could have some, you know, music videos I could put up in the corner to watch while we're monitoring things here. We're slowing down a little bit too much. Wonder if we have the wind in our face, because now we really our bang for our buck. We're not getting a whole lot. And we're back to burning fuel. So yes, it would be lovely to be able to pop up a music video. Hey, let's watch this, you know, something else to occupy ourselves with during any long stretches. Yep, not a lot to see. I should put it in home view, and then we can monitor our engine and airspeed. But it seems we're doing all right. Gotta listen for that stall warning if anything should happen. Okay. So what are your plans for the evening? You got a real life going out tonight, hitting the town? Think about all the exciting places people could be living right now in the world, like that really have cool things to do on a Friday night. All the cool things that you could possibly be doing tonight. Hope you have a great time. Thank you for taking any time out of your day, as always, to tune into something like me, to follow along with the misadventures and grumblings of Kinneas, budding SKYDUDE. And you make all the difference in the world. Somebody like me doing something like this, not getting a whole lot of visitors, watchers, lurkers, trolls, anything. Don't get a lot of subscribers or likes because, you know, hey, it's this, you know. So thank you. You're making all the difference in the world. Please like and subscribe, and I will like and subscribe back, and we'll try to raise both of our planes. I could really use the support, so please thank you. I hate begging, but we kind of have to. I kind of have to. I would like to keep doing this in my spare time, and I would really like it too. You know how just, you know, we're all in the same boat. Just the world, the cost of living, everything that's going on right now. Every penny matters. I could really use your support, as you could use mine. So again, please, it's mutually beneficial. Like and subscribe, hit the notify button, and I will do the same. Yesterday I picked up somebody with they didn't subscribe, and I was kind of bummed about that, but they only have like 2 or 3 followers and really no content. They're just starting their channel, but I went ahead and subscribed anyway. I mean, you're gonna need somebody. We get by with a little help from our friends. Hey, speaking of, look at the time. Kinneas broadcasting from South Colorado Springs. Now 4:21 after the hour. Pardon me. A bit of a cough today. Trying to quickly get over to the mic and mute that. I'm so sorry about that. Other than that, I love talking about like politics and conspiracy theories, and I can't do that. No, can't do that. And unless you really research who's set up for an easier way to identify people that do Creative Commons, I can't really immediately just go, you know, let's watch some other people's videos while we're flying. There's no real, or that I know of, there's no real easy way to identify other people's content that says, yeah, you're live stream friendly, go for it. I haven't quite figured that out yet. Juliana says this on Twitter, flirt with me. That's what I could do. I could show my Twitter, but then again, ooh, that could cause some problems too. You never know what you're gonna scroll across, and the next thing you know, I've got some prawn in my live stream. Ugh. So, but Juliana says this should be interesting, and her little picture says flirt with me, but only using GIFs, and go. Well, I know she likes Vince Gill. It's one thing. I don't know. What gift would you use? Maybe go something wacky instead. Banana. No, that's not flirting. That's just wrong. I was gonna say like a banana flying through the sky. You know, I wasn't thinking eggplant right off the bat. It's not. Just thinking, what's wacky? An apple in a tutu. How's that flirting? I don't know. Suppose you could be going to see Spider-Verse this weekend. Let me know how that is. You seen it already? Got any? You know, you've got like, you had they call that pre-screening tickets. How was it? Did you like it? Let us know. Question: cast iron or non-stick? I'd probably say cast iron. At least you know what it is. It's iron, as opposed to non-stick. You don't know what the heck that stuff is on there. Oh my goodness. What I mean, these videos that you can just accidentally scroll across on Twitter. Like violent motorcycle crashes. Finals are here. Nuggets versus the Heat. I believe the Nuggets won last night. Congratulations. Brandon tripped. Hey, we all trip. Just leave it at that. Monica Bellucci just because. Don't you believe it? Quote of the day: reparations will stop theft. Don't you believe it? Right. Seriously, yeah, don't you believe it? You can't pay off human nature, the human condition. If you're into Trek, you always hear that, the human condition. It's never changed to this point in time. The human condition has remained constant throughout all of time. Okay. The archetypal makeup of human beings hasn't changed from day one, and I don't suspect it ever will. You can't change archetypal human condition. There are plenty of people in this world who have everything that they would ever want, and they have a compulsion to be, in D&D terms, everything negative of neutral. Right? So just because you have money, well, you get the point, right? You get the point. And no matter what you do, the richest people in the world still commit horrible crimes. That didn't stop them. It actually made it worse. It enables them to do what they want to do. You know? All right. More scrolling. Jamie Foxx. Oh, man. Time alone will kill our best. That's it. That's all we need. Time. No matter what, we're mortal, right? Time will always deal with the situation. And these people that have done, well, this is really, we're getting into controversial subjects. So I better back off. It just sucks that, again, you know, the human condition, what they've done recently is speeding up the taking away of just people in general, but so many good people. Ah, the Constitution for me, but not for thee. Headline: Skynet has arrived. U.S. Air Force drone simulation goes awry. Aircraft kills human operator and destroys communication tower. I hadn't heard that the operator was killed. I heard it was that the AI tried. So this is bad. So the thing is told to do whatever it needs to do to complete its mission. That's the way I understand it. I mean, that's just jacked up. Jim Polk liked my comment. You can't pay off human nature, and I got a retweet. Yee-hoo! Do. Beta Ray Bill, you know. I don't. I mean, when they switched to Beta Ray Bill, I just thought that's too strange. I just didn't like where things were going. So, like the Falcon is now becoming Captain America. Beta Ray Bill, this strange horse face looking alien, became the new Thor. And one, I thought the name was dumb, and I thought the character was dumb, and I just didn't like that. I didn't like that Marvel was doing stuff like that back when I was a kid. So I never bought any of the, maybe 1-2 episodes, and I don't want to. No. Do. Babylon B report: sandbag the trip Biden on stage also participated in the January 6th Capitol riot. That too controversial? It's parody, it's a joke. Videos of people that are out of control. Just more and more and more. Okay, let's see how we are doing, and we're going to check on our fellas. Make sure that they're... Yeah, we're getting there. Should be there any moment. Wanted to see if I should probably radio it in, even though it's just a dirt field. Go5 melon. We'll take the 18.
1 Charlie Oscar 5 traffic Kinneas 2111 miles north 8,100 feet inbound to land runway 18.
Okay, there's no tower there, but it's polite. It's polite radioing no matter what, so that every plane that could possibly be in the vicinity will hear you. And you can announce your position so that everybody hears it.
1 Charlie Oscar 5 traffic Kinneas 2111 miles north 8,100 feet inbound to land runway 18.
And if you don't fly straight in, as you're flying in, as you're getting ready to land, you want to announce you're on final. If you fly the traffic pattern, you can also declare what leg, declare what leg that you were currently on. Each length of the traffic pattern has its own name. 21 miles. Okay, so that should give us enough time to go check on our misters. And Berlin is ready to go. Needs a little bit more fuel. Let's top up. He's about 24 pounds. They've been able to maneuver around without much worry. As long as we say like 21, 30 miles. He's fine. He can't do it. Payload's too much. This is the only one he can do. Well, not the only one, but I mean, he could do this one. That one he can. So, take off. Maverick's ready. Pop up. $32 at that place. Don't get gas there. $7.30. And back from Castle Rock. Yeah. We'll go that for more. $59 miles. He can do it. Let's maybe get him a little bit more fuel. Hey, I was just tuning in. Bitten by a radioactive bird. Somewhat manner to Tuthill is now driven to become Kinneas, the SKYDUDE. You're tuning in. I've been at it for a while. Got our new plane. Talked about how to set up the GPS. Use the GPS to set up this route. Going through my my new pilots. I've got 4 pilots working now. I mean 3 pilots, myself included, 4 there. Derp. And I posted it a link to this on Twitter, just in case anybody's interested. But yeah, it's like you're tuning into a show that has already started. Hey, if you've never tuned in before or just curious, like, who's this guy? What does he sound like? Hello. Been on Twitter for a long time with you. A long time we've been together. I like having lots and lots of friends on Twitter who we never have to talk. Ah, we're already here. You better hop back into the plane. And coming for a landing there, huh? All right. So happy. I've been at this career mode for a while, and the grind is real. I mean, crazy. I'm just getting to the point now where I can afford these pilots, and everything is so incredibly expensive. I've been grinding, and I finally have a plane, at least now, with an autopilot, which, man, you fly a lot, you want a break. You know, you want the AI to handle things and take over for a bit, have some coffee, relax a little bit. Jeez. Okay, speaking of, let's turn it off. The engine down. And I leave these up to help people identify, understand the landing, how the landing works. It's usually about 1,000 feet up, 1 mile from the runway, that you have to fly these patterns. So it depends on how you come in. Either way, there's just stuff you learn in flight training, how to approach an airport from which, from no matter which direction you're approaching it from. And normally you just have to mentally visualize what you're seeing on the screen there, these red boxes. Things starting to turn real green again. It's nice. Sorry, there's no music or other fun stuff. I am doing a lot of writing to YouTube to try to get things changed a little bit. I mean, who doesn't like music on road trips, right? Or when you're doing, you transport. A way to get something, some music, some sort of entertainment, TV channel, a movie, something that YouTube approves as live stream friendly. And they don't care if you put it in your live stream. Everything is just one of these nervous biting your nails. Am I going to get a copyright strike? That noise is the flaps being deployed a little bit. 10%. That noise is the flaps being deployed 20%. See that out here. I said I can announce. You can announce your. We're getting ready to turn to final.
1 Charlie Oscar 5 traffic Kinneas 21 is on final runway 18 to land.
Actually, we're on the downwind. This is turning to base. So you would announce you're turning to base. And then that final turn down there, that is when you announce on final. So usually 10 degrees of flaps in that turn. At this point right here, 20 degrees of flaps, then full flaps on your final turn. All to get us slowing down. I'm gunning the engine a little bit. Stupid. And my brain sometimes aren't coordinated. And I are drifting. So landing is all about, my dad used to say, learning how to fall, learning how to control a fall. And I finally started understanding that. I could not stick landings for the longest time. They just, doing in the simulator, of course. I'm not a real world. But, not being able to stick a landing. Full flaps. And so I would follow the instructions, like, well, the instructions said to do this and how to do this, and you'll do a perfect landing every time, and that really, sometimes the rules don't work. Man, my view is jacked up. Having a tough time right now. Get some speed back up. So I was going to say, it's all about power management, being able to manage your power as you fall. You want to fly slow. You want to be kind of on the verge of a stall. Which we're gonna be in any second here. You'll hear the noise. It means we're gonna stall. Being on the verge of a stall and going too fast. At the end of the runway here.
Transporter from dispatch. Nice landing. Go to the parking and put your parking brake on. I'll be in touch.
All right.
Transporter from dispatch. Clear the runway and taxi to parking.
We will park here. Welcome to Rocky Ford, Colorado. Our flaps raised back up here. Trying to get the proper screen here. One moment. Drone and the here we go. The drone and the external are kind of fight sometimes. So yeah, Rocky Ford or melon, Colorado, because that's what they sell here. You want a good melon? This is the place for it. So what you do is from Pueblo, you're entering Pueblo, you will turn east on Highway 50. And keep traveling east. It's not that far. And you will run into Melon, Rocky Ford. And you can pull over and say, hey, show me your melons. And I don't think anybody would get offended. They'd be like, yeah, over here. You can say things like, wow, the size of those melons, great melons, and be okay. Probably. Okay. Did we get a dispatch for a disembarkment? Let me check my cargo. No, so maybe I missed the parking. Or I just haven't shut down yet. Am I that dumb? Yes, and yes. Let me just answer that now. Yes, it happens. Especially as I get older. Holy moly, that's real. Like your brain starts going after you start reaching a certain age. Some people sooner than later. I think it's starting to happen. We were at that other airport yesterday, Ordway. There we go.
Pilots stand by.
Yes.
The cargo is being removed.
Okay, checking on other guys. GHOSTRIDER's ready. Pop them up. And get him doing something else. Distance 24, 38, 72. Well, we'll go this one. All right, you partier. This guy, I think, was out sleeping or
Transported
partying.
from dispatch. Everything seems okay. The customer looks happy. Mission ended.
He was out partying all night with one of our clients.
Let's get out of here.
I think all three of these guys were out partying all last night with one of our clients. When I came in this morning, this guy, GHOSTRIDER, was on 0 health, and it still showed that he had a passenger with him. This is like 6-7 hours of doing nothing, where they should be doing their downtime and recuperating. None of them had recuperated, so I literally had to come in here and well, he's airborne, but remove them. You can click it when they're not doing something and remove them out of the airplane. So I had to come in here and remove them, all three of these guys, out of their airplanes. Then the passenger went away that he had with him, and then they all started getting some rest. You jerks. I slept, and while I was sleeping, you guys stayed partying. So now we have to wait several hours for these guys to recuperate before we could start again. They need rest and sleep and a real amount of time before they can go again. check his fuel. Yeah. Okay. So they're all busy again. Good. And now we can look at a job for ourselves. XKSPL. Now they want us to go into Kansas? I've never been there. Can't get any back to Colorado Springs. We can get one to Denver. See if we can get closer to Colorado Springs. Yeah, that's close to Pueblo. That one takes us real close to the springs. But again, I'm so worried about some of these sometimes. These dirt-filled ones, they don't pay sometime. We'll be near that Shriver Air Force Base. That's kind of cool. Yeah, let's take it. And what's the distance? 61. So let's check our fuel.
Hey, pilot. The cargo is ready and waiting. You know what to do.
I do.
Have a safe flight.
I do. Actually, we'll get our fuel in here. He's not synced.
The ground crew are loading the cargo. Stand by.
Drop some weight, add some fuel. And then we will check our Neopad, part of the Neofly rear add-on thingy here. And it will tell us what our payload requirements are.
Pilot, that's the last of the crates secured and the cargo door is closed and latched. You are clear to taxi.
We need to have a payload set at least 491 to get whatever kind of bonus it's giving. Okay. Right. I'm going to pull back a little bit more just to get enough. A little too far. Okay, so I can add more fuel to be safe. Okay. All right. So again, I've been saying the grind is real in this title, and I finally have this schwanky old and new plane, but what it's got is the autopilot, which is what I wanted, hands-off flying. And we have one of the earlier generations. It's not quite the earliest generation of GPS, Garmin, but still super powerful. First thing we need to do is let's clear the flight plan. Delete all waypoints in the flight plan. And we are going to CO4. Press this little thing, you can use your keyboard. CO4. Ellicott, Colorado, Colorado Springs East, Ellicott, Colorado. That is absolutely correct. Hit enter. And enter again to activate. Okay. So now when we come back out to our flight plan and see the direct route there. So let me go back over to, if you're just tuning in, you haven't seen this before, it's a free website called SkyVector. And it is très groovy. Show you this baby. So we're at 1 CO5. And we're going to CO4. Let's clear this before we hit enter on that. Okay. All right. So now let's zoom out. And we can see that flight plan now. Here we are down here. And we're flying up here to Ellicott. Okay. These black lines on this particular map, this is called a world low map. This is the map you usually start out with when you're a student. This is your first one, your visual flight rules flying map. Okay. There's lots of information. Now the light blue lines that you're seeing, the solid light blue lines, or your monitor might be a little more green. Those are highways in the sky, designated highways, the routes. Okay. But normally you want to try to fly on those when you're creating flight plans. So when you're plotting and people get your flight plan, they know where you should be or where you were, as opposed to I'm flying from this point to that point. So now, okay. Be anywhere along that route. World low map does away with a lot of the ground features since we're not using visual flight rules, and it cleans it up somewhat so that we can see the highways and waypoints better. Triangles are called waypoints. They're just fixed points, imaginary fixed points that you can use to navigate to and from. Okay, so from here, let's connect to a highway. So the nearest one going this way is the nearest waypoint to connect to would be Orway. Then let's just keep going forward, then bring another point out, and we'll go to this radio station, the Pueblo VOR. Add that. That's what these are. These things with this icon with a compass around it indicates a radio navigation station. Okay. Then we're going to turn right on this highway. And let's go to the Drake point. We used that last time coming down here. Then we will continue forward. Yeah. And that's our route now. Okay. So looking here. Minus the V's, which are the highways. I'm not entering these into the GPS, the V83 or the V244. With the airliners and other GPS, you can. Some of the more advanced, I haven't figured out how to add the Victors in the GPS on this model. But so we need Drake, Hub, and Orway to add to the GPS. Just to the side over here. And come back to our GPS. Okay, open the flight plan. We're doing a direct to CO4. Let me start this over again. Do. It's clear. What am I doing wrong here? It's been a minute. since I've used these, so trying to remember how everything functions. How do you clear it now? Okay, we've canceled it. Okay, we'll start it again. Not a problem. Okay, pop into here. And we are at 1CO5. Enter that. Now we want to add Orway. No, we want to add, yeah, Orway. Our first waypoint. Enter that. From Orway, we're going to pub. After pub, Drake. Okay. Yes. And after Drake, CO4. That is it. Now, okay, there is our flight plan.
Everything looks good from where I'm sitting. Taxi to the runway and take off.
Right. Oh, this one actually did have a, from the other view, it didn't look like there was a runway at all. That it was dirt field only, but that looks like the runway right there. Oh, or is that, so it's a grass, is it a grass landing field and a paved taxiway? No, come on. And had a little bit of flaps. So you really need to be into the flight simulator thing if you're going to enjoy this title at all. I think if you're not, don't waste your time. Maybe, but if you're not really into it, it is really a grind. I suppose pretty soon. I mean, once you start making money, the bigger money, and can afford. Oh, we're gonna have to go under
Pilot
the.
from dispatch. Fly safe.
Have to go under the cables. And a nosedive for a minute, build up some speed. Don't let it scare you. All right, we don't need much altitude. What we'll do now is come back over to our autopilot, turn it on, and hit the navigation button. I did this earlier on the takeoff, where I think we have to tell it what to do for the first sequence or where to start, because she doesn't want to churn. About now. Oh. How about now? Yeah. Oh, come on. What are you doing? You're going the wrong way. Okay, let's try this. Wow, what are you doing? Maybe I'm not seeing it. Are you working right? No, we're down here. It is not doing what it's supposed to. This is set proper.
Denver Center Kinneas 2-1 is type Cessna Skyhawk 6 miles southwest of 1 Charlie Oscar 5,200 feet. Request flight following.
Kinneas 2-1, Denver Center. Squawk 0141.
Squawk 0141 Kinneas 2-1.
Kinneas 2-1 radar contact 7 miles southwest of 1 Charlie Oscar 5,100 feet. Altimeter 29er.75.
We're away.
Roger, Kinneas 2-1.
What you doing, man? Norway Pub Drake. If I can force it to go to Orway. Yeah. Okay, so it's turning and it's heading back to Orway. So we've got it at least on track. We just need to keep an eye on it when it gets to Orway and make sure it continues to the next leg, or we have to activate the next leg. Okay, we're up high enough, I think. Let me look. I don't think we're gonna run into anything. Actually, we can go to let's go to 7.5. Okay, so let's check this out. We didn't do this last time. I didn't show you this. All right, let's say we want to go to 7,500 feet. Okay, 7.5. We need to arm vertical speed. And set feet per minute. Something small. I'll bring it down to 200. Okay. So the plane will slowly, you can see our pitch right here, our vertical speed indicator. We're up 200 feet per minute, and 2.5, somewhere in there. Okay. So she's steadily climbing. We're at 6,000 feet. So when that reaches 7,500, this should automatically switch to an alt hold at 7,500 feet. And then we will reduce throttle and put it into cruise mode. Let's try to speed it up a tiny bit, I guess, here. You put it at 300 to 400 feet. I don't want to go too much and bleed off too much speed. But now you see our vertical speed indicator up to 4. That's the nose pitching up. At 0, we're straight and level. Anything below that, of course, the nose would be dipping down. Here it's telling us the nose is up. Adjust our compass in case we've had any drift a little bit. And I haven't checked our barometer, but I think we're at 2992. But let's see if we can get any automated weather somewhere around here. And our clearance.
Center Kinneas, 217 miles east of Charlie Oscar 80. Request IFR to Charlie Oscar 4 ready to copy.
Kinneas 21 is cleared to Charlie Oscar 4 airport as filed. Squawk 0141.
0141, Kinneas 21.
21 cleared to Charlie Oscar 4 airport as filed.
That's what this is for down here.
0141.
You type in 0141.
Kinneas 21 readback correct. Radar contact 6,400 feet. Altimeter 29er decimal 72
2972.
WAY turning and following heading 335 climb and maintain 9,000 feet.
2972.
RWAY turning and following heading 335 climb and maintain 9,000 feet. Kinneas 21.
2972 right there.
Kinneas 21, you are 54 miles southeast. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors. Visual runway 17 approach.
Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors. Visual runway 17 approach. Kinneas 21.
That's right. Okay. We're almost 6,700 feet. Not much to see out here in between Colorado and Kansas, and then just really not much to see, I think, all the way out to the coast. As you got some mountains to look at, I just find everything terribly boring. Well, that's a pretty flippant thing to say. If you're into it and you're looking, you know, you can always spot interesting things in the ground. It is a world of wonder. Now, if you're wondering about the terrain and you're looking at and you've never seen me do any of this before, or really even had any checked out flight simulators, what they're like these days, this is all using Bing satellite photos to map onto the world. Okay. So it's not just made up terrain at all. This is one of the world's first visual flight rules simulators, to where everything is, I mean, it's pretty much an Earth simulator. So chances are you'll find your own house, unless it's in an area that's, you know, kind of restricted for whatever reason. They don't want people seeing what the satellite sees. But if you're not, and you're like in the United States, chances are none of it's restricted, and you'll see your house. The maps might be a little outdated, a couple years old. For example, I think around my house, I think my wife's old vehicle is still parked out front. It got totaled by one of the drunk neighbors, came around the corner too fast, and destroyed a beautiful old car. Yeah, so so when I said, you know, looking around around at the earth, you never know what you're going to find. There's usually something interesting. But if you're into geology, woo, man, this is fantastic. If you're into ancient aliens.
Contact Denver Center on 128.375. Good day.
If you're into ancient aliens or stuff, you might even find old structures in the ground. Chaco Canyon's a trip.
Kinneas 21 is passing 7,500 feet, climbing 9,000 feet.
Kinneas 21 Denver Center altimeter 29.72. Continue as planned.
Front range over there, Colorado Springs in that direction. We want to check our progress, but we don't want to go back into the cockpit. They've kind of got a there's two ways I can do it. One with the VFR map, not a really good one at all. I don't know why Microsoft skimped on this at all, and this needs probably the most help of everything in the computer. Oh, he's kind of cutting the corner. Still making his way to the first waypoint or way. And then we need to see if he'll, I wonder why he's got this circular thing going on here.
Kinneas 21, please expedite your climb 9,000 feet.
Well, they want us to 9,000 feet? Well, that's interesting. So go in here and change this to 9. $8,000, 9,000, and we had already reached 7.5 and she was leveled out, so we need to switch it to climb again. 400 feet per minute. Not losing too much speed.
Expedite your climb 9,000 feet.
She's so insistent. All right, so I don't want to expedite. It's climbing and I don't want to take off too much speed, so I just now want to watch and make sure that she makes the transition. Or whatever. I say she, but it can be he. It's, you know, it's whatever you want it wants to be, or you want. I don't know. I don't care. Pronouns for your autopilot. Goofy. I want to see if it. Don't call it an it. Will transition properly from Orway to the next waypoint. Mom, baby. Left to 266 in 1 second. Left to 266 now, it says. Good. Thank you. That's exactly what we want you to do. It is a marvel. It is just such a marvel. When you fly by hand all the time, and then you finally make your way up to autopilot and stuff like this, it's so wonderful. Even at this level, I'm not using the most advanced stuff at all. It's so Star Trek. It's so Back to the Future. And then you know, I can't wait if you've never seen me do any of this stuff before. Normally, because I'm not doing career mode, I can access any plane I want. I still can, if I'm not doing a career activity. But some of the planes are incredibly futuristic now, where there are no more steam gauges. They're all digital displays. And a lot of them now are touchscreen interactive digital displays. No more dials. If you don't know, you were just tuning in again. I didn't know you could fly. Almost everything now. And as if you keep following along, like, subscribe, I could really use your help. I desperately need your help financially. That'd be great. It'd be the best way to help me. Just a like and subscribe would make all the difference in the world. I'm not asking you for any money. If you want to jump into the chat, say hello, and, you know, donate, I'm not going to stop you. But the best thing you could do to help me out is just hit like and hit subscribe. Worth its weight in gold. If you have a YouTube channel, just like and subscribe, and I will like and subscribe back to you. Make sure that you get some help as well. But yeah, I can fly most things now, and for a long time dedicated a lot of time learning how to fly airliners like the A320. And if I don't know how to fly it, I just, you know, need to either read some documentation on a particular plane, or, you know, watch somebody else has made a video on it, just to understand what differences there might be, or how operations could be a little bit, no matter what plane you're in, pretty much, with the exception of military aircraft, of course, up to the F-35. Most everything that you learn in one type of plane translates to almost any other plane. So you're like, well, I've never flown one of those before, but if you can fly any of these, then yeah, just read up on it for 15 minutes, understand where things might be placed differently, or, you know, little things that are just a tiny bit different. For them, for the most part, it's all the same though. They call it translating up. Once you learn it, you can usually translate up into another aircraft without any problems. Just take a little time to understand where things are at, and okay, yeah, I get it. All right, so it's heading to the Pueblo VOR, which is the radio station, and then it is going to take a right, 90-degree right turn. We get a distance on this. Yeah. So right now, 10 miles away from the radio station. Not getting a time. Not a big deal. We want to tune the radio station. I'm sure we could get some information. I think it's 1167. Push this to put the cursor there for our nav radio. Change this to 116. Make that a 7. Put it into active. It is the Pueblo VOR. Great. 8.9 miles. That's exactly the same. I get any time though. What time? Wanted to listen to it, hear the Morse code. You see, I said it's a radio station, but these radio stations for navigation only emit a Morse code. If you're into the top 10 best Morse code identifiers, then this is the radio station for you, man. Turn that up so you can hear it. yes, this one's a classic. Ah. This was on the Morse code top 20 for $40 weeks in a row in 1983. A good year for Morse code identifiers. Band is still together, as you can hear. It's still playing now, even. All right, turn off nav 1. So in the real world, as I understand, some groovy pilots have said that you actually can use real world radio stations that play music for navigation. I'd be asking a lot from Microsoft to include something like that. Again, doesn't matter, as soon as you switch it on, it's a copyright violation with YouTube if you're live streaming. And that's the reason why I keep petitioning YouTube to create some radio stations or TV stations or movie stations for airline flights. Not specifically for that, but to be used in live streams like long distance flights and airliner flights where you can watch movies, and I could put up a movie for people to watch while we're flying around. Talk about it. Go around MST3K with some movies, or again, just to have some music to listen to or music videos to watch while we're flying around. That would be ideal. I think my drone is an acrobat. Every time I come back into it, it's always like canted over to one side. It's slowly rotating in the sky. If we leave it here long enough and just sit here like this, I think it will eventually just keep rotating. Or why? So here's Pueblo Memorial, and the radio station is just down here in front of it somewhere on the ground. They usually look like hockey pucks. I don't believe the simulator's done a really good job of making those clear on the ground. Honestly, I haven't been looking for so long, but when I first started, I started in the alpha version of this. But initially, it's like very difficult to find your VORs through visual identification. But we're over it because now we've done our 90-degree turn to the right. That's what I mean. I love it. I love it so much. I love finally having automation back. Love it. So this is my neck of the woods if you've never tuned in before either. Just to our east is we've just passed, just directly to our east is Pueblo, Colorado. About 30 minutes south of Colorado Springs. There's Pikes Peak. We're starting to make that out in the distance. Always a pleasant thing to see once you've been traveling across flatlands for a while. That reminds things of me. Pardon me while I break the immersion for a moment. I wanted to go back to the options. I was just reading up on anisotropic filtering. Wanted to see about turning it up in here. It already is? Okay. I have a lot of things turned down. This isn't the best computer at all. It's good for what it is. There are some things I can try though to make it even more interesting for you. And do this without freaking the computer out hard. Leave HDR off. I can bump up the terrain level of details to make things more exciting for you, but out here in the plains, again, it's not going to be much. It does take a big hit. Same with terrain vector data, trying to make the terrain look as good as possible. Trees and grass to me are unnecessary wastes of CPU. So not at least keep object level of detail closer to 100. Clouds, and we'll just go with that right now. So until you get a much higher machine, I mean, it does a good job. But I don't know. I haven't, I'm not in the market currently for a super high end yet. Right. By chance you do check this out and you're coming in from Twitter, please let me know that you've come from Twitter. Go into the chat, just say hi, I'm from Twitter. That would be so cool to know that at all, that there's been a reach, that when I post something on Twitter, somebody's like, yeah, okay, and why not? Please let me know if you do. If I'm not doing this, I'm usually always on Twitter. If I'm not following you on Twitter, let me know, and I will rectify that as well. I can't talk about a lot of the cool things we talk about on Twitter, and I can't have strong opinions about things and discuss things as we do on Twitter, on YouTube. So let's see what time it is. 5:40 in the afternoon here. I don't believe I have real time set. I thought real world weather was set. Let's see here. Yeah, live weather's on, real time is not. Let's see what it looks like. It's a little gray out there. Yeah. I'll leave it on for now. We'll probably adjust it shortly, lighten things back up. We'll see. All right, let's check our fellas and see how our guys are doing. They're all done. We're up to $281,000 for the day. Not for the day, but we're up to at that point now. I think we're at 250 when we started, 255, somewhere in there. Right. And take off. Him. Get him some fuel and find him a job. Distance. 29. Yeah, let's go with that one. Take off and pick Maverick. Whoa, he used up a lot of fuel. He was down to 2. We got lucky there. 31 to Denver. Yeah. All right, let's check their status. What is multiple status? Status I? The stati? He's embarking, embarking, and embarking. So they're all working. Notice the drone camera just been slowly turning. Crazy. And let's see how far we've gone. Oh, we're almost, well, it's still a good stretch after Drake. I still don't know why it's doing what it's doing here. Where like it says Drake and then almost like it's going to come all the way back and then go up to CO4. Let's see what happens when she hits Drake, and if she doesn't keep going forward to CO4, we'll do it direct to CO4. May have done something wrong in the I'm creating the autopilot plot, but I don't see that in here. Yeah, I don't see that reflected in here. That weird curve. Okay, hitting Drake. Let's see if we get a pop-up message here about what it's going to do. Next is 353 and 5 4, so it's going to keep going forward. 3, 2, 1, pop. Okay, good. So last leg.
Kinneas 2-1 descend and maintain 8,100 feet.
Okay, now we need to come down.
Descend and maintain 8,100 feet, Kinneas 2-1.
Now we have to do that. Get this, put it into a negative pitch, and lower our speed for it to descend. Don't forget, you have to lower the throttle. If you don't lower the throttle, it may not. If you don't lower the throttle, it may not drop. Longest time I couldn't figure that out. I'm like, well, I've set it and told it to descend, and but at full power, whatever power you're at, she just might not.
Kinneas 2-1, please expedite your descent 8,100 feet.
Okay, on the down, When pitching down, it doesn't really matter. Pitching up, you got to be really careful about pitching up too far, losing too much speed and stalling your plane. On the down, of course. Whee! Do you want an expedite? I'm at 2,500. Do we already hit it? Okay, so we're at 8-1. Why do we already get that set for lid? Go to CO4, so it's using an instrument flight plan that already has set us up. Expect the vectors, visual runway 17. Let's do 35 and go in straight then. It says it's 8 miles ahead. We've got no bounding boxes though. I don't see it. Seven miles. Well, since we're not getting anything, let's cancel that real quick and we can
Denver Center, Kinneas 2-1 would like to cancel IFR. Colorado Springs approach Kinneas 2-1 is type Cessna Skyhawk 6 miles west of Charlie Oscar 9er 08,100 feet. Request flight following.
What are you doing tonight?
Kinneas 2-1 Colorado Springs approach. Squawk 2663.
Squawk 2663, Kinneas 2-1. I want CO4.
Charlie Oscar for traffic Kinneas 216 miles south 8,100 feet inbound to land runway 35.
Yeah. Okay, let's turn off our autopilot. Out of the way. Autopilot off. Kill the engine. And slow down. Now I'm free falling. Right, that's what we're doing. Engine is completely, throttle is all the way off. So no foot on the gas at the moment. Free falling. Once we get into this range, it's safe to deploy our flaps just a little bit more. Still picking up some speed. I'll get a little bit closer and then pull up. And if we deploy our flaps just a little too fast, outside this range, we can rip one off, have the wind shear. If you need to slow down quickly, pull up and deploy. And then let it fall, but try not to exceed, go past like 80 and go past 85 knots. If you have to circle. But for example, I'm going to do that now. I think that I'm going still just, it's too sharp of a pitch. I'll increase my throttle a little bit. I'll increase my throttle a little bit so I don't stall and follow the sky. But I'm going to spin around and get myself a little bit lower to the ground. We're coming back in. If you got the room and you're coming in too fast, or you know you slow down too much, drop your nose. Get some speed under the wings again. Okay, we're low enough now. Put some speed back in, not too much. You still want to be going as slow as possible where you hit the runway. Without stalling. That's, you know, you're a bundle of kinetic energy falling towards the ground. So to keep yourself from hitting too hard and everything, and to hopefully do a good landing, by the moment the wheels touch, you want to have bled off as much forward momentum as possible, right on the verge of a stall.
Transporter from dispatch. Nice landing. Go to the parking and put your parking brake on. I'll be in touch.
Contact ground for your parking assignment, then shut down your engine.
It will also help you stop fast if you need to. Too much forward momentum, you land long on the runway and you hit your brakes, you're just going to keep going. For what brakes? Who cares? Well, for your brakes to really do their job, yeah, go slow. I was listening to some report on things that cause the most problems for pilots. They said one of them is landing. Of course, it's tough for everybody, but not spending enough time learning how to fly slow. Learning how to, you know, really keep your power, you know, one hand on the throttle. And spending enough time managing your power and flying in super slow flight. Being able to maintain your plane at super slow speeds.
Transporter. Cargo unloading in progress. Stand by, pilot.
All right. Those three guys are still working. This doesn't look like me. I suppose I did the photo that I picked for my character. Couldn't find one that really looked like me at all. So I went with Mr. Guy Smiley. So I do wear glasses. And I suppose that, you know.
Transporter. Another cargo mission completed.
Some days I'm
Thanks,
clean
and see you
shaven.
soon.
Let's go.
I know. Oh, let's see. What do we have here? There's one that takes us back to the Air Force Academy. Or, you know, back into town. Out here in the boonies. Yeah, let's take that.
Transporter from dispatch. I see you asked for a fragile cargo mission.
Oh,
The
it's
ground
fragile?
crew is waiting to carefully load the crates for you in the parking.
Okay.
Transporter. Loading has started. Stand by.
We need to check this for our weight. It's only 20 miles, so we can drop some fuel.
Transporter. Loading is complete. Let's go.
And we have now more bonus potential. Bump that up. Don't get too crazy. If it is that sensitive. Okay, so this time I'm not going to be, I don't have to bother with creating a flight plan. I can do it direct too. Let's clear our flight plan out. And delete our flight plan. And all waypoints. And we're going to do a direct to. Okay. A. FF. And enter that, activate it. Okay. Do a little bit of a pushback here. Oh, did I change my pushback? There we go. I changed it. Had a problem. Two buttons conflicting or the same, whatever. The active pause was jacked up yesterday. Turn off the brake. And inform ATC we're going. We're departing south, but we're going to be turning west.
Charlie Oscar 4 traffic Kinneas, 21 taking off runway 17 south departure.
Come on, man, you going to push me back or what? He must be new on the job. He's having a really tough time getting under the wheel. Like he's nervous. Just inching along. Cool, man, I get it. I gotta start somewhere. Don't be so afraid. My propeller's not even on. I promise I won't turn it on. Chop you to bits. But we've got to go, so. I don't think it's going to happen with this guy. All right. Chopping to bits proceeding.
Everything looks good from where I'm sitting. Taxi to the runway and take off.
Yeah, get out of here. Oh, now you're moving fast. Look at him. He's all, ooh, get out of here quickly. Scary Blade. I found out coming back now. I found out they do with certain futuristic aircraft. You can get electric wheels for your airplane. So up to this point, everything's, you know, you do everything with your propeller for your ground propulsion. You need guys like that to push you around, you know, because you can't reverse. So yeah, now with today's technology, you can get electric wheels so that you can maneuver around at constant taxi speeds and control it. You can actually reverse an aircraft now without using your propeller. I wonder what those cost. Trey Swanky.
Transporter from dispatch. Fly safe and remember to watch your landing.
Hey, Captain. All right. Turn toward our beautiful mountains over there. And we're off to the Air Force Academy. Where Brandon, in the vicinity of where Brandon tipped over yesterday. Sandbagged. Put it into an up trim configuration for a second here. And let's see about getting our autopilot. If he will take over. We have to activate this. Excellent. Activated. The moon up there already? What is that? Sun? Is that the sun? What? Oh, man, we have a bright UFO above us. Okay, and we're headed to Air Force. And are at almost 7,000.
Colorado Springs approach Kinneas 2-1 is type Cessna Skyhawk 3 miles west of Charlie Oscar for 6,700 feet. Request flight following.
Kinneas 2-1 Colorado Springs approach. Squawk 7065.
Squawk 7065, Kinneas 2-1.
Kinneas 2-1 radar contact 3 miles west of Charlie Oscar for 7,100 feet. Altimeter 29.997.
Roger, Kinneas 2-1.
Okay, that should, here in just a moment, level us out at 7,000 feet. They've got to fix the view so you can get up over that dang dash better. Means popping my head out, fine. Need to make sure I'm not going to run into anything up there. Okay, so we hit 7,000 feet. It's now leveling out. Straight level flight. Let us now put it into cruise speed. To 2200 RPM. That drone again. Crazy drone. That over there to our right, Meadow Lake, that's our home base airport. Looks like they're getting a little bit of rain over there. Good, good, bring it. So everything that you see exists in the real world. Everything on the ground may not look exact, you know, it does the best it can. It doesn't have any good mapping. It'll, you know, it'll make a building there. For the most part, everything you see is based on satellite maps. Unless it's specifically being forbidden by a government or somebody to display what is there in the real world, it's going to display it. People are blown away when you show them their houses and areas where they live. They're like, oh my gosh, it is perfect. It is perfect. This is one of the most impressive, I didn't want to call it a game, impressive simulators ever created. You know, for us mere mortals anyway. But it is truly phenomenal. A humongous paradigm shift in the world of simulators. The data that it's combining to do everything that we're doing, it just seems like, oh, it's a video game. Just, you can't even begin to understand what is going on here. So combining satellite technology and GPS, LiDAR, radar, live weather, live air traffic. They're working on, somebody said, third party's working on live road traffic, live sea traffic, multiplayer traffic, season changes. One pack has, they're talking about bird migrations. You can get birds specifically for your area of the world. This one, as we progress a little further, or I don't know if it's active or inactive now, this add-on is supposed to take real world emergencies and put them in the game as live emergencies. I don't know that it's fully active at the moment. That's one of the key advertising features for this version of Neofly. That real world live emergencies will be turned into active missions when they happen. So now they're combining in that, like those road data apps that you get where they tell you about the road conditions or anything, any emergencies going on. the app immediately displays what's going on in your area along the road or whatever. So yeah, taking an app like that and using it to create something like this. We could be going a little low for the distances, that little ridge right there. So let's try to get up to like 7,800. Eight. 400 feet. Let's go for 500 feet. Hopefully that didn't slow us down too much. Yep, that could be you. That could be your house. I would love for Microsoft to hook up with those guys that do roofing and other things, and they use a really advanced program that uses drone captured. So it's only a couple hundred feet up capturing all the data. It would be really nice to get super, and I'm sure it's going to be coming anyway down the road, but you know, ultra HD photographic mapping from drones instead of satellites. Because when you go down to the ground level, unless you got a super good video card, and even then, it does such a poor job at ground level of creating the world. It's just, you know, and I can't speak for the super high-end video cards and how well it does at ground level, but it's not impressive. It's really illusion, it really falls apart. And so, yeah, you would want something like that, a package that was filmed with the drone just several hundred feet up in the air. So it's capturing everything in UD, Ultra HD. Check my guys. Man, they're just zipping today, man. Ready to go. He's ready for another job. He's got enough fuel. He needs more. Okay, stops. Distance 29. Go. Really? Alright, go with the shorter one. He's got that little toy plane, man. Can't carry anything. We do need to get him another plane. Here comes the Air Academy up ahead. I need to hurry. Give him that one. Go. Alright. Call this in.
Academy Tower Kinneas 2-1 is 3 miles east, 7,800 feet with Quebec to land.
Kinneas 2-1 Academy Tower. Altimeter 29.95, wind tree 22 at 1 tree. Fly right base runway tree 4 right.
Okay, so they want us to
Kinneas
do a
2-1
right,
wind tree 22 at 1
runway.
tree. Clear to land runway tree 4 right.
Alright, so we need to do a right.
Cleared to land runway tree 4 right, Kinneas 2-1.
Cross arm. Trying to two things at once, having to cross my arms. All right. More flap. Yeah. Full flap. Oh, you shush. Doing a little bit of crabbing, trying to throw my rear end over to the left while keeping my nose going to the right. Straighten us out. There we go. Now back to power management. Sorry, I'm all over the place right at the moment.
Transporter from dispatch. Nice landing. Go to the parking and put your parking brake on. I'll be in touch.
Transporter from dispatch. Clear the runway and taxi to parking.
I let off a little bit too much power and really had to compensate there at the end to get to the runway and then center us up back up again.
Kinneas 2-1 contact ground on 118.
Oh, look, we got a rainbow. Nice. Beautiful.
118.125 for Kinneas 2-1.
Okay, we're up to 295 and we'll add a little bit more to that once we stop. All right, welcome to one of the training facilities for the Air Force Academy. One of their airstrips.
Okay, pilot. Removing the fragile goods may take a little longer than normal. Stand by.
I'm watching our
Transporter from dispatch. Everything seems okay.
hey,
The customer looks happy. Mission ended.
843. Alrighty, all right.
Let's go.
So what we'll have to do then is wait for this guy to finish. Wait for Berlin to finish his next mission. And then maybe I don't know if we're going to be allowed to or not. We can try it. We'd have to sell his aircraft if he allows us to sell that little toy and get another see if we can pick up another 152, something with just more, because that poor guy can't make he just does not have any cargo capacity in that thing. He has to do everything under like 150, basically 100, under 150 pounds. What time is it? It is 6:21. Okay, we've been at this a while. I think I'm going to stop right there and wish you a wonderful Friday night. I'll probably be back and continuing doing another live stream. But I can't say for certain. It is a Friday night. Maybe I'll actually do something fun and exciting for once. Other than this. But if I do see you, cool. If I don't see you, have a wonderful evening. You have a wonderful weekend. If we don't have Dungeons and Dragons plans on for tomorrow, then I'll definitely be back at this. And other way. Thank you for tuning in. Again, if you even take a minute out of your day to tune into this, you know, hey, bless you. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. I really need the help. And hit notify. So, good night. Take care. Kinneas, SKYDUDE out.